Fire Brand Fair, man. Make sure you go firebrandfair.com, dog. Check out the quality of that, bro.
Yeah. You got the snapback, just like I got mine on. You got the nice brim, all that, you know.
Yeah,
brim.
man.
Fresh.
You heard it from GeedyP, man. GeedyP endorsed it. You know it's nice, man.
Yeah, stamp.
Real talk, bro.
And it's the same color I got on, so you already know.
Are you down for me? Yeah, tell me, would you ride? Would you hold it down by my side? Tell me, are you down for me? If I call time with no bell, would you toast me on the phone and keep it real? Tell me, are you down for me?
Let's go, man. MillionViewzPodcast, man. It's WilsonMillz, dog. We got us an exclusive today, dog. We gonna call him a special guest. You know what I'm saying? When I do these interviews, I call them MillionViewzPodcast exclusive. You dig? We go get into this gentleman. You know what I'm saying? Some call him the almanac, the spokesman. I gotta go to my notes for all the names, bro. I ain't go the voice. You feel what I'm saying?
Jerison call me Facts.
Facts, you know what I'm saying? That what we call my big brother Bean, dog. And you remind me a lot of him. We go get into that, dog. But GeedyP speaks, man. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the people, bro. And on MillionViewz, dog. Like we like to start it out with just getting to know, you know, the man, the person, whether it be a woman, artist, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Let us get to know GeedyP. You know
I'm gonna say that too, and I'm gonna just give one more shout out because I see my dog P-Time Mo interview in the background. When I interviewed him, he called me Info too because he started saying I had all the information.
That's
way back then,
one too.
He was like, Info, motherfucker, you gonna find out the information. So, me, man, I'm a person. I grew up between New Orleans East and the 7th Ward. So downtown and the East like got a special spot in my heart because that's where I kind of grew up at. My dad from uptown, mom out the 7th Ward. And I went to school, all in these parish schools and shit like that. I love football. Deion Sanders always was my favorite athlete. So big primetime fan. That's why I like the glasses and all the fly shit. I always did like that, I guess, because I liked Deion and he was always flashy and fly since I was young. And I always fell in love with music too because my dad is a singer. He was a singer when he was young and stuff like that. He was singing a group with Lil Ya Uncle.
I'm about to say, you mentioned that to me. What was the name of that group?
The group was called the Mystics. And Lil Ya Uncle was out the St. Thomas. He was one of the members in that group. My dad was one of the youngest members in that group, and he was from uptown. He used to be like in the WYLD talent shows and a lot of stuff like that back in the day. But that's why I love music, because he could sing good. He couldn't dance like Michael Jackson, but he sounded like him with that nice tenor voice he had. And then I had an older brother, like 7 years. Well, I got an older brother 7 years older than me named John. And he used to bring me to like gimmick records back in the day and get the damn tapes off Paris Avenue. And then I used to be handed, like I said, the UGK, 8-Ball MJG, Outkast, all this stuff, whatever, Tupac, Spice One. So I was always loving the hip hop, young, being around my big brother, put me on all that shit. And then I got into the music mode, you know. I was always into it, but I started doing like the management, just trying to put stuff together, like with my brother that went to Angola. I was trying to get the studio shit for him to rap. So yeah, so that's kind of how I fell in love with it, and like I said, yeah, that's why I just love music, and I always love the business side of it.
It was plenty of quotes I could have picked, though, from just stalking your posts, you know what I'm saying, preparing for this here. This one stuck out though. Strong enough to start a war, but smart enough to start a movement.
That was I seen that quote. That was the Doctor. Some people might know him by Tito. Yeah, some people might know him by Tito. You have to carry the project. Yeah, he said that. He was saying that that's what he feel. He felt like because a lot of people, you know, that might don't even see eye to eye all and fuck with me. He was like a lot of dudes, you know, in the city that we might have situations and all that. You know, everybody still fuck with you. Everybody listening. He was like, you the type of person that can bring people together. So instead of dividing us, you always try to find ways to bring us together. And he even seen that with the way I show Louisiana love, when a lot of times New Orleans people, oh man, I ain't from no damn Louisiana, I'm from New Orleans. So he even sees stuff like that I'm all about still trying. I know we gonna have our little time we jokes with each other, but that's the reason. So yeah, I'm all about, you know, starting a movement more than, you know, division and stuff like that. You came straight in, dropping knowledge, you feel what I'm saying? But one thing that you filled me in on was your background in sports, and you actually had a calling in management prior to music. You know what I'm saying? You want to share that? Well, when I was in high school, I went to Marion Abelson, which is on the east side, New Orleans East, and right next to Greater St. Stephen. People know across from Joe Brown Park. That's the same high school Lil Wayne went to. Toya Johnson, Lil Wayne's ex-wife. BG went there. Jacoby Jones, they won the Super Bowl with the Baltimore Ravens. Ike Taylor, that won 2 Super Bowls with the Steelers. the porn star Rob Piper. I mean, it's Chelsea. She was a big track star. It's like a lot of people that went to Fee Banks that managed Kevin Gates and Young Boy.
Shout out to Fee. I watched some of his stuff.
Yeah, that's my family, and there's a lot of people. So went to that high school. So when I was at high school, I played cornerback, and my cousin, he was like the star quarterback on the team. He was at the Cali Project named Charles Miller, and Charlie was number 15. He was always getting these football questionnaires when he stayed on Tower Lane. And when I used to be seeing him at the top of the football question, they have like football team office number. So I went to just say, well, damn, let me call him and sit there, send him to my house in the 7-War. Right. So I started telling him, send me one. Then I was like, well, let me ask him to send 10. Then I called Florida State, I called USC, and I was getting them in a vanilla envelope, and I would go on yard at Abe, and I pass them out to all the football players. The coaches started getting mad at me because they were like, wow, the fuck, all these coaches keep calling about this kid and that kid, and we're only trying to get 2 people recruited, right. But he got all these other.
That's a whole nother conversation too. That's crazy.
So once I started doing that, everybody started like being like, man, who helped him get it recruited? And I was going in the library, and I get everybody like height, weight, 40 time, and tell them make sure they got their SAT or the ACT score, and we'll send it to the schools and all that, and that's how I was getting recruited. So I was taking care of business in the 11th grade. I didn't even know I was doing it. I just felt like.
What gave you the inkling to even move on that like that?
Man, I always been a person that was like always trying to be a leader. Like even when we was younger, my brothers and we be playing the Turtles, we'll like my grandma, God bless the dead, and someone will cut some of her clothes up and turn them, make them bandanas on our head, like the red one or the blue one, and leading all them rap hair. And she was like, who cut my shit up? But I was always the one trying to put everybody together. So I always was trying to just lead. So when I found out I could take charge, and my mama got that kind of personality, she always like suing H&R Block, or she gonna do this, or she gonna find out this. So my mama is that type of person. She not gonna lay down. She gonna figure it out, and she gonna be the one that's gonna speak up for people. So that's how I was. I was like, they don't know how to do it, I'm gonna do it or whatever. And even if I gotta take all the heat for it from the coaches, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna take one for the team. And the coaches got mad at me. They said the shit in the locker in the gym one day. They was like, he think he is getting the stuff recruited. Everybody was laughing at me, but the other dudes were like, man, why y'all laughing? This dude fucking care about us. He the one doing it for us. They wasn't gonna do it. So why y'all hating on him?
We spoke on Natural Born Leaders yesterday on Million Views Podcast Live yesterday, bro. Shout out to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Definitely.
You know, a natural born leader. And when you agreed to do this interview with me, bro, that's the first thing that came to my mind was like, dude is a natural born leader. I just wondered where it came from. And like you said, that was inspired from moms and you know, just showing by example of, you know, musical inspiration. What inspired you as far as music? I know you say you're big, you know, having big brothers, that's always a good influence, you know what I'm saying? Especially, you know, for a young man. You feel what I'm saying? Right. So your full musical influence came from bro, or you found your own way?
Well, I'm gonna say this right quick too, just to piggyback off that Martin Luther King stuff and the leader stuff. My dad, when I was young, I used to like read Goosebumps books, but the more I got older, my dad wanted to challenge me a little more. I read the Alex Haley autobiography about Malcolm X. So just leaders like that. My dad was he loved Malcolm X and stuff like that. So I just to go back to that, I always seen like, you know, the James Baldwin's and all that. He always told me about all these people and Marcus Garvey and all that stuff like that. So I knew about that too. I knew about my heritage. That's why I went to HBCU, which is a historical black college in Alabama. Shout out to Stillman Tiger. So I love my people and I love that part about me too. But the hip hop, the influence came from, like I said, my big brother playing certain stuff. So, you know, the older I got, I'm hearing with my cousins playing. Like I said, they playing the Hot Boys, they playing Feel Field and Soldier Slim, Magnolia Slim at the time. And
shout out to all them.
Yeah, UNLV. I talk to y'all all the time about Pimp Daddy and them. They playing fucking Partners in Crime, like all this stuff. And, you know, stuff in the South and all that, Ghetto Boys and all that. So, but the older I got, I started liking what I like. Like, damn, I love Outkast. You know, I used to want to move to Atlanta when we was younger because I liked the Chris Tucker, Deion Sanders, Outkast is out there. But we wound up going to Atlanta after Katrina. But I liked it there. Then I started falling in love with like Tupac and Jay-Z a lot. And I became like a super, super big Jay-Z fan. Everybody was loving Pac, so that just kind of just was like what all my cousins listened to. So that's why I love Pac so much. So yeah, I found my favorite was Jay, and then I like the R&B and shit too with him.
With you being so richly enrooted in New Orleans, like can't nobody ever, you know what I'm saying, pull that out of you.
Right.
But your range is so wide as far as your choices of music. And at this point, you know what I'm saying, as far as the knowledge and research that you just have on the genre itself, you know what I'm saying, talking about hip hop.
Right.
How do you if you even still do, how do you scout or evaluate talent? You know what I'm saying?
That's a good question. Nobody never asked me that. How do I scout and evaluate talent?
Right, without being biased, of course.
Well, I try to hear them first, whatever I hear them, and I try to see if the passion in their voice, like I try to see how much they love the music. Then I try to study them too, if I could talk to them, or if I could like look at an interview. I try to like look at their musical influences. But that tell you a lot about the artist too. I even watched when I watched Whitney Houston new movie, Clyde Davis after he signed, he asked Whitney Houston, what is your musical taste like? What are artists that you like? You know, and that kind of gave him a feel like what kind of songs she might like in her direction, so her taste. So I try to find out if they really good. I try to see like what their musical taste is. I kind of see if they probably like maybe coachable, because some people you can't tell them that. You know, they just know everything and they stubborn, and you're not gonna be able to get through to them. So it might be really, really talented, but if you can't teach them nothing, then we're not gonna really gel anyway. So I be trying to find artists that could take constructive criticism, open-minded, willing to listen. I can listen to them, and like I said, if they just got the talent, man, that passion, that shit that when I hear it, it give me goosebumps. If it give me goosebumps and I hear it, I'm like, man, this shit, yeah. If it cut me like that in my heart, then I know.
Basically, you gotta be able to feel it.
Yeah, if I feel it like
you know that you know it when it's there.
Yeah, like when I heard BTY Youngin, like, and I just couldn't stop listening to him when I watched videos of him on YouTube and stuff like that. Yeah.
We'll definitely go get to that, but go ahead.
Yeah, but when I heard him, I couldn't stop. Like I had to tell my mom, you gotta hear this.
Up until this point, that was that one.
Well, I felt like that with Jay Merck too when I heard him, but that's who Youngin introduced me to. But Youngin never told me about
that short that just come home.
Yeah,
like he doing,
Youngin ain't never told me to listen to nobody really rap like that, like that. When he was in jail, like the whole time, not one person.
But he endorsed Homie.
He was the only one he ever put me on the phone with. The only person.
And, you know, D was a straight shooter like that too, bro.
Yeah.
I met him actually in Bunch Village. You know what I'm saying? We were little boys.
So this where it's at, cause I know he told me.
This the Ville. You know, we right on the rim of it. You know what I'm saying? This Little Farms Road. Bunch Village go from Little Farms Road, you know what I'm saying, to Bunch School.
Okay, so where the dump at then? Because I know him and Superbad went to Bunch.
The dump was on the other side. Like the other side, you go on the other side of the tracks, you know, go a little bit further up River Ridge right here.
Right. Because I know him and Superbad went to school together and stuff.
Yeah,
like
you can walk straight across the train tracks and be on the dump, you know what I'm saying? But in a car, you got to go around.
Okay.
Yeah, man. But, yeah, Youngin, he was, now I ain't gonna sit here and say that I knew dude was gonna be a prolific rapper or nothing like that.
Right.
But Lil D, like when you met him, bro, I'm talking about if he was 7 or 8 years old, dog, when I met him, you knew that was a little soldier, like you knew that was a little man.
Right.
And that's what we loved about him back here. He ain't spent forever back here. I don't have no whole bunch of eps with him. I ain't about to be fake like that.
Right.
But growing up, like over the years, every time we bumped back into each other, dude was the same. You know, like he was on the time he was on.
Right.
But he was straight across the board with it.
Right.
And then once he started fucking with the music like that, like I was hearing about Youngin. You know, like really hearing this dude's name, right?
Whenever I was,
this is D to us, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he called like my little partners, they like this with him, you know what I'm saying? Cause they all in the same, you know, close in age or whatever.
Right.
And they talking on the phone with him and stuff like that while he away. And you know, I'm starting to hear GeedyP. You feel what I'm saying? This is where I'm getting at with this.
Right.
So, you know, he freestyling for my little partner Biko. Shout out to Capo.
Okay.
He freestyling on the phone. He in the binger. And he like, man, I'm about to come home, man. You know, my people fucking with me the right way, nigga. This about to be the run right
and where
here.
do Capo from?
Bunch Village.
Okay, Bunch Village.
Biko, yeah.
Okay.
And long story short, like he's stamped it prior to coming home and linking with Stunner like he did and the whole nine, bro.
Right.
And to see him not to be able to really, you know what I'm saying, capitalize on that and make that full transition, bro, like that kind of hurt it, bro. Just to see, like I said, a little soldier, like somebody who you seen really go through it and stand up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That was hard. Like I said, you know, it wasn't nobody super close to me, but that was somebody that you really rooted for. If you was from the hood and you knew him, that was somebody you really rooted for.
Like I said, man, he gave me goosebumps and like he kind of reminded me a lot of like DMX and Tupac and so Slim and Derek. I seen all them in him, like when he used to wear the Timbs, and when I had a video with him shooting dice with his cousin G and all of them, his brother Sporting them, his cousin Red. I think
he was up and down.
And it was like shooting dice and Youngin talking shit and all that, but he got his Timbs on the bald head. It reminded me a lot of X because he loved wear Timberlands and shit. So And even when I hear people like we talking about him, or I be hearing other people on podcasts talk about him and still keep his name going, that's legendary shit. Like, cause a lot of people that's been going a long time that passed away that was rapping in New Orleans, people don't talk about them.
Right.
Their name don't get brought up or whatever, but people still talk about Youngin all the time, so to let you know he's still affected people in hip hop.
I was rooting for him from the streets. You feel what I'm saying?
He was in like, Winfield, yeah.
Like he was locked up.
Right.
But like I said, that was Lil D.
Right.
Like he was just a solid little dude. Like I didn't even know he was rapping until my little partner them hit me to what he was doing. Like I said, I was they big dog. D wasn't in our circle, but the little nigga that he was tight with in my circle, I was older brother, however you want.
Big homie or whatever, yeah.
Right.
Big bro,
yeah.
That's how it was. I mean, them fucking CDs, man. Like we was getting them fucking mixtapes out everywhere, and them free Youngin shirts, and like I said, he had 10,000 downloads on that Piff, so. Like, I took it off there because Miss Gabriella wanted to take it off.
Still gone.
This was all when he was gone and all that. When he came home, he had 10,000 downloads on that Piff. Right. So I was looking at that like, damn, this is how many fucking CDs boosted first album.
That's all I'm about to say.
Yeah, like this, and this ain't count what we got on the street. Yeah, this ain't hard copies. We had the hard copies. All that shit was free. Me and his brother split up. We putting our money together. We buying all the CDs. I was getting the CDs from Atlanta, and I was getting the free Youngin shirts from Philly. Cause I knew how the Pimp C movement was, the free Pimp C and the free Gucci Man shit. Yeah. So I'm like, we get this damn shirts. I was telling Splitter, y'all be going out there the second line of Super Sundays. People gonna want to buy them, they gonna wear them. That's gonna make more people see him. Yeah. And I had put his Twitter name on there so people could know he got a Twitter. So all that stuff was just cross promoting and all that. Everything go together. The video come on, the mixtape sig right there on that Piff, and then the link in the description. So people click the direct link, go straight to that Piff. You ain't gotta go type it in. Right. Link gonna see right there. So it was easy for him.
All right. How do you feel about this quick little? How do you feel about what the sound of New Orleans music at today?
I ain't gonna lie, it's better today than I felt like 2-3 years ago when I was talking about shit.
I answered that the same way.
Yeah, I like it. I like where it's going. Like I said, I like what Ride 49 doing. I've been loving what Superbad was doing. Been believing in her. Yeah, I see. What's one of the questions? Yeah, I've been thought she was hard. I'm so proud of her. I like I said, the artists I'm working with, J Merck. I like all the females, there's a lot of them, whatever, that's doing great. I like J Black, JR Slim. I like the dude I just was telling you about, YD the Illest. I was listening to some shit with him. He hard, he knew. It's so many of them, man. You always feel like you're gonna miss somebody. I like I said, Tatiana XL. I've been liking what 3D Nati doing, but in this just new era, it's just a lot of artists, and I like what they're doing. I just like it. I just feel like things looking up, and I feel good about the media too. I feel like we building up to the media too.
The narrative is definitely changing, bro. Let's stay there for a moment with the artists that you just mentioned. Mm-hmm. Even though you haven't managed all of them, but you worked with all of them in some form or fashion, right?
Right.
Which, like, what's the distinctive? Like, what's the things that's similar about these artists, but what's the things that's mostly different and unique about all? Let's just do those four: Youngin, Superbad, J Merck, and let's say a 49.
Okay. All of them got energy. I never worked with Ride 49, but you just throwing them in.
Worked with them? Okay.
No, I never worked with Ride 49, but those three, like J Murder, Youngin, Superbad, out of them three, all right, that I work with, all of them got energy. All of them stories real. Superbad rap about what she just real. Youngin rapping about shit he been through. J Murder, you see what he rapping about and see his stories on the interviews. Right. Youngin and J Murder, I like they got the raspy voice. I always did love an artist with a raspy voice. Shit like that catch me. I pay attention to voices and stuff. Superbad, them they gonna speak their mind. Right. Same thing with Youngin, they gonna speak his mind. J Murder, same way, they outspoken, unapologetic,
right,
raw.
That would be the word.
Gangsta gutter, you could say, like raw. They raw, unapologetic. And they passionate. They be in their feelings. I like that. Like when artists be so vulnerable, and they could tell you about the good and the bad, and they let their fans see all that. I think that's something that make people connect to them and resonate with them so much because they was so open. Like Boosie. Boosie's so open, he's so honest, he let you know what his baby mama going through, he got diabetes, whatever. Yeah, so, I mean, I'm just...
What was your, my bad, not to cut you off, what was your first experiences with like rappers like a Boosie or something like that? Cause that's a different, that's some Louisiana flavor, right, but that's a different flavor than what we bring.
Man, I love motherfucking Torrance hats, aka Hollywood hats, Boosie badass, whatever you want to call them, dog. Like, all the way retarded. I fuck with I fuck with the Big Raggedy, Baton Rouge. Man, when we first got on Boosie, them like, you know, we had cousins and all that played for like Southern and shit back in the day when we was in school. They used to be talking about Boosie and, you know, C-Loke and all of them and Max Minnelli and Young Bleed. But we was in our own thing. You know, we had the Hot Boys, we got fucking Big Boy Records, all this stuff going on. So we was in our own thing. But when I went out to visit my cousin and my mama got her family, her mama's side from like Napoleonville and all that. And Bertrandville, I think it's originally called, but Napoleonville, people might know it is. So I went out there by then. We out there at a little family reunion or something like that, and we wound up going to the Franklin Fair. So when we went to the Franklin Fair on a commute there, my cousin then went to playing Boosie and all that. I'm like, man, they like baby mama, I'm tired of you. And they playing, you know, My Time Could Be Next or Bad Bitch. I'm like, who this is? They're like, man, you ain't never heard of Boosie? I'm like, well, I heard him, but I never listened to him. So when I'm hearing him, I'm blown away. So when I go back to New Orleans, I go to the bootleg man on Diamond. I'm like, man, you got the Boosie on CD, the Gangsta Music and Ghetto Stories. My cousin was telling me about it. I'm like, he was like, yeah. So I bought it around my partners and them. They like, man, take that shit out. We want to listen to Lil Wayne. We want to listen to Dipset. We trying to listen to G-Unit. Man, fuck them niggas. They country. They sound stupid. I'm like, man, this man saying something. But they was just making it like they don't want him because his voice was high pitched. But I thought Boosie was hard to me though. So I was fucking with him.
My first experience with Boosie music, it wasn't pleasant. It wasn't pleasant because McKinley High School, bro. That's who knocked us out of the playoffs.
Oh yeah, Boosie High School and Kevin Gates. Yeah.
I went to John Curtis, bro. That was the last high school game I played, bro. And they was playing Boosie music every time out, every break, I'm lit like I could hear it.
Yeah.
So fast forward now, my partner Kendrick, shout out to Kendrick Grayson, bro. He was going to Southwest Mississippi Community College. He played basketball.
Okay.
Man, he come back doing the ratchet, like he you know, playing big swole goofy nigga. You know what I'm saying? So he come back playing. Shout out to Shreveport, man. He like, man, you need to get on this, bro. I'm like, man, I can't listen to that because I couldn't take his voice at first. Right. You heard me? But the more I listened to it, like you said, I was like, hold up.
Right. He's saying something.
Man, run that back.
Right.
You know, so that's when I just trained my ear to just listen to what dude was talking about and figuring out like that was just another element of music. That was like our Louisiana Eazy-E as far as his voice. But that's what I be telling people. The movement and how he was coming. Like,
I'm glad you said it because I always said it in interviews.
Took me to mature on his music.
Yeah, I always tell people that Boosie voice is like how Eazy-E voice was to the West Coast, or how Pimp C voice was. Pimp C voice, high pitched to some people. It pop out the speakers. It's hard to mix it, but that's his voice. Now, just to go back to all that Boosie stuff and Webby, I was thinking about this too. Since we talking about that, I was just talking about this on my own Instagram page about
shout out to Webby too.
Right, how people to say Boosie and Webby, who was the hardest or whatever.
Ooh.
I always say that Webby.
I think I commented.
Yeah, I always say Webby was the better rapper. I feel like Boosie my favorite rapper out of both of them.
I compared them to Pimp and Bun.
Pimp and Bun, yeah, exactly. Pimp and Bun. Even when I look at Juvenile and BG, BG was rapping all the gangster street stuff, but Juve had all the hit songs like Webby, to Bag That Ass Up, and you know how Webby got the girl giving that pussy and you know the bad chick. Like Webby made a lot of the hits, and he was just like a great rapper and storyteller and all that. Boosie was able to last longer because he reinvented himself with the interviews. He went to jail in Angola. That kind of turned him up even more. Plus, Webby never was media friendly. Webby, people ask him the wrong thing in the interview, he won't dive in his shit. He's saying disrespectful stuff sometimes to the interview woman because he was so hood. But he was really talented. So I still feel like Webby don't get enough respect. I feel like that I listen to a lot of the Baton Rouge all the talk about interview, but they don't never really be saying Webby.
That could be self-inflicted, but he don't. The fact is that he don't get his just due, though. And like I said, that's an argument me and my people have on some music stuff. Like, I felt like hands down Webby was a better lyricist, but you go always feel Boosie move, because he go come down to the ground with
that's
you know what I'm saying? So shout out to both of them, dog. Both legends in my eyes. You feel what I'm saying? But like you said, that's just a compare and contrast. All right, dog. Like I told you, we came in here, bro. I felt like you've been involved with this 30 years, dog. But how long have you really been, you know what I'm saying, involved with the business? And what was your first position?
Well, like I said, I got my equipment when I was like when I kind of got out of high school. I knew for sure I wanted to do this shit. But then when I went to Delgado, I got some equipment and stuff like that. And we were just like rapping on little beats, had like little MIDI controllers, and we was rapping on this shit called, I think it was called Beat Generator. My cousin had on out the 7 Well. He used to make beats out there. My cousin used to just rap, pop X pills, and they'll just rap. And my brother would rap all night, rolling on them damn pills. And then I had got some equipment out to Atlanta, and I bought like MPC 2500s, Phantom keyboards, all kind of stuff. And I had like burners, and we were making our own music and putting it out. That was like right around Katrina, like 04 or something like that, right before Katrina. And then the first position I really had, like when I really was doing something that was like kind of like a structured label, my cousin had 0 to 60. I was working with him. That was the same label that S80 was on, that made Meet Me Halfway.
Yeah, you got me on that one.
Yeah, so Meet Me Halfway with S80, that's like one of my best friends.
I know the song, Meet Me Halfway. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so that was the label he was on. His first artist was Super Blanco, that was on Squad Up.
Super Blanco, all right.
Yeah, so Super Blanco was his first artist. And then he had the youngest one. They was at the St. Bernard Project in, around Goretti Park area. So that's who I was working with, and then S80. So I was like kind of A&R, and I say, street team and just everything. Like, we was a small label, so we really had to do a lot of shit.
Whatever had was necessary at the time.
Yeah, we had to do all that stuff like that. So I never had a problem with passing out no t-shirts, passing out no towels in the crowd, holding the camera, holding the bags. I never let my ego get in the way.
You going from ground up.
Yeah, and then, I started. Then, like I said, I was always kind of managing stuff with my brother Brandon, them, whatever. But I did that with my cousin. Then when and I was kind of helping the youngest ones out with their direction of their project. And then Youngin was like calling me as manager. And I kind of was doing that too with Superbad too. We never was saying it. But Youngin actually said, nigga, you my manager.
Right.
Like, he even put it in red.
He made you the manager.
Yeah, he said it, like, you my manager. I'm Geedy, that's my manager. He'll say my name in songs.
Right.
Like, I appreciate that.
The first time I heard your name through Youngin.
Yeah, Youngin never had a problem with giving me my flowers and saying that. Like, he like, man, I appreciate what you did. I appreciate you believing me. One time he wrote me from the parish. He was on B3. I still got the letter in my closet. He was like, I know they say writing in red is disrespectful, but I feel like I'm writing with blood from my heart. Telling you this, like, how much I appreciate you believing in me and betting on me and taking your money and your time to get behind me or whatever, So
it was solid.
So yeah, so I just wanted to make sure I said that to her. But yeah, and then what I'm doing now, whatever, so doing it with Youngin, working with my cousin, and then doing the stuff with Superbad when she really wasn't as popular or whatever. When I used to be posting, I was posting her and people like, why you rapping, posting her? She's standing on top of baskets. She can't dress. She just that.
Right.
Like, people was saying a lot of negative stuff.
Yeah,
she from Kenner and all kind of just negative shit. But now look at it now. So people gonna say stuff, they gonna throw rocks at the throne, but now she at the top of the fucking mountain.
We're talking about all these names, legends in the making, legends that have gone on. You know what I'm saying? You're the networking king, bro. So, like, how you link up with people like Sean Cotton? You know what I'm saying? Like, what that link came?
Well, what happened with the stuff with Sean Cotton, he had posted something on Say Cheese, and he used to do these top 10 cities and the popping cities and the top 10 hardest markets to blow up in. And like, I think like a month or a week or two before, he had Baton Rouge is the most popping city and all that, and on hip hop at the time. Baton Rouge was #1. And then like a week or two or maybe a month later, he put the hardest markets that's to blow up in, and New Orleans was the #1 hardest. So he was like, why y'all feel like New Orleans the hardest market to blow up in? And I was saying something on my Instagram like, man, a lot of dudes in New Orleans trying to sound like Philly too much. They biting Chicago. We losing our sauce. We losing our identity. And while everybody else running off with our sound, benefiting from it, we still trying to be like everybody else. Right. And like Soulja Slim said, first thing, be original. If you get your own style, nigga, feel you more. So when I said that, Sean Cotton posted it on Say Cheese, and everybody kept saying, man, you don't say cheese, you don't say cheese. And then somebody from, I think, Atlanta said some shit about New Orleans, like, man, y'all niggas doing that bounce, y'all ain't got nothing but a bunch of, gay dudes doing that, and y'all dope fiends out there. So I had said something about Atlanta, like, something like to the extent, like, Big Meats turned y'all up. Like, y'all wasn't like that to BMF at the time. And Sean probably felt like that, so he posted. Right. Then it was something else he posted, and I just kept going viral. And after that, he started calling me New Orleans spokesman. Right. And I got cool with him on Twitter. And then eventually he wound up interviewing me. And then eventually I wound up interviewing him at his house in Dallas. So we became tight off just Instagram and networking through the social media stuff. Yeah.
That's what's up, dog. You mentioned this man a lot through everything I done seen and watched. You mentioned him at least once. You feel what I'm saying?
Who you talking about?
Your brother.
Oh yeah, my brother Brandon was my brother's real name, but Boss B, everybody called him and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, he been incarcerated 13 years, going on 14 years, and like I said, that's why I started doing the music. Same way J Prince got into the rap shit with his brother, rap a lot. I got into it with my brother, and I was trying to steal him out the streets and all that. So, he been in jail a long time. He was in Angola for many years. They moved him to Hunts now. So I be going to see him. So that's a little quicker to get to him than going to St. Francisville to visit him. But yeah, my brother always, believed in me, and I always believed in him and stuff like that. And he on that 10-2 stuff, all the appeals then got exhausted. A lot of the stuff with the Jim Crow law that was started in, I think it started in like 1898, where they were silencing the jurors and stuff like that. And Oregon finally made theirs retroactive, even though Oregon only had 300 people that had the 10-2 verdict. Yeah. Louisiana got 1,500, but they ended theirs. I hope the
sort of a radical state, though. But Oregon do a lot.
Right, I know, and that's crazy because I'm like, y'all ain't even a part of the South. Y'all gonna adopt this law, being from the West Coast, and we from the South. They expected like Alabama, Mississippi, or Tennessee to do this shit. Y'all do this all on the West Coast, but like I said, they did end it, and then they did make it retroactive. Louisiana did end it because the voters did that on the ballot, but the legislators don't even want to let it get passed or whatever to even let the voters vote it to make it retroactive. So they denied it. The Supreme Court denied it. And like I said, a lot of people still just sitting in there without fair verdicts. And my brother happened to be one of them. And C. Murder and a slew of other people. Yeah.
You mentioned those two when you was addressing, you know what I'm saying, the situation where people, you know, swapping other folks out, you know what I'm saying, to change their situations and stuff like that, bro. And salute to those fellas, bro, because like you should know, that's hard on the families, that's hard on, you know what I'm saying, definitely hard on the inmates, but that'll be even hard on somebody else's family, you know what I'm saying, that you swapping out for, you know, something that you may or may not have done, but you know what I'm saying, you was caught up in the situation, you was doing what you was doing. You gotta, that shit kind of come with, you know, the sour side of the game. You feel
so you talking about like when somebody might tell on somebody for this person to go to jail? Yeah, just like how, like I guess like stuff with like gangster stuff or whatever. Yeah, like how people were saying if C. Murder, like Soldier Slim son was saying like C. Murder could have said Slim did something or whatever and all that, and he could be home and all that. Like I said, I know Gang said it was like a new law or whatever. I don't know. It's still hard for me to believe that or whatever.
Right.
But I guess in this new era, it's like everything is cool to, like I said, tell on the people. I just feel like the only thing that really always kind of like fucked me up about it is that if it was that easy, I just feel like a lot of dudes would be out the feds. It'll be so many prisons. I'll be letting dudes go. Because they had fall partner say my fall partner just died last week from diabetes, but he the one did it. Now they all let me go home. They'll just be opening the gates. They'll just be like, this would be a get out of jail free card. So, but by T.I. saying what he's saying, you know, by Keefe D saying what he did, you know, about Lil Durk saying we blame it on the dead homies. Like, I guess that's just a new wave. I don't know. It's just, it ain't like the old ways no more. I guess everybody got new rules. And some people just make the rules to benefit them, and they move the goalposts, but they won't move it in.
Speaking of rules and goalposts and measurements, dog, a murder rate.
Ridiculous.
We back number one in the worst possible category. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Man, where we go? Like where we go from now?
I really feel like I hope the council members and the mayor could get on the same page, because like I said, the mayor don't want to say that we have a real murder problem, right? Because she want the tourists to keep coming, because that's how the city gonna keep making money, because if they scare the tourists off, then we really don't have nothing.
Which is understandable.
Right.
But at some point you gotta address,
because the citizens feel like they can't even go certain places. They can't stop at red lights. Their windows getting broke. Anywhere where you have a high murder rate, you're gonna have all kind of other violent crime. You're gonna have carjackings, robbing. Yeah. But then they feel like, all right, we're gonna just lock everybody up, put them in jail. That's gonna fix it. We have the highest incarceration rate on the planet, not in the country, on the planet, but we still got the highest murder rate. So locking people up, being tough on crime is not the solution. But some parties might feel like that's the way to go, because prison is big money. So they're gonna make money off the phone calls, commissary, you know, people making license plates and all that shit that they do in prison. But that's not the solution. So I really feel like I hope the council members and the mayor and a lot of the city leaders get on the same page. Even like the city activists, like the church people and all that, try to figure out how to get some town hall meets and really figure out what they need to do to bring money and resources and the right team of people, because this shit ain't working and people really leaving. You know,
how do we affect change, you know what I'm saying, in these situations?
Well, we could talk about it, and we could try our best to like try to stay on the youth, to try to make them think about something positive and do something positive, because a lot of them don't feel hopeless. So a lot of time when you get a lot of young kids misguided, they going on the wrong road, or they might have an older cousin or older brother or older friend that might be saying, go breaking somebody else, go do this, sending them out there, like your boy that was on South Central, had the dude breaking in cars, he wilding out.
Got your boy still in cars.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So so you got him him out there, but his daddy wasn't in his life.
Right.
So if a lot of these dudes, people,
right.
But if he would have had somebody intervene in his life, then he probably made the mistakes he did because he chose Deuce. So the moral of the story is if you could catch it at the beginning, you don't have to worry about locking him up. When Charleston White said everybody need to just get locked up and that's how you fix it, that's the dumbest shit ever. They ain't just locking all the white boys up and say this how we gonna fix them.
Right.
You know,
because they know better.
Exactly. So that's like dumb for you to say some shit like that. That this the way you do it. Put them all in prison, and that's gonna make it better.
I think he answering to a different. I think he's speaking for something other than himself, though. Like when he be on that type of kick, I think there's an agenda behind that.
I think he be really doing that shit for clickbait. He be wanting to say shit that's gonna go viral. Cause 1 minute you'll say you love Tupac.
You think he say stuff that profound though?
Because a road clock could be right 2 times out the day.
Right.
Anytime you saying that you love Tupac, all right, and you saying you got never ignorant getting goals accomplished, Tupac shit. But you say you don't like dark women because you had to have babies from a Mexican lady because you want to have good and not nigga.
Right,
Tupac mama had an afro.
Right.
Tupac mama was a dark woman. Tupac's sister is dark.
Right.
Tupac loved black people.
Yeah.
So you can't be saying you speaking for Tupac if you don't even stand on what he about. Black, he loved everything black. Another thing.
So you saying it's all a play for the money?
Yeah, it's all a play for the money and it's clickbait or whatever. You saying you a character or whatever. And Jay-Z used to always say, like he said on The Diary, Jay-Z said Sean Carter and Jay-Z the same person. So when he said Aramis and Nipsey not the same person, Jay-Z said Sean Carter and Jay the same person. So he'll tell you Charleston White is one person, but Charleston White the character is somebody else. Man, come on, man. You trying to just play these games and manipulate people, and you'll say you don't like African people because they stink. You'll say stuff like it's just a lot of stuff that just be like it's like a lot of contradicting things. Yeah. I don't know. It's just like
I feel that.
I don't know, man.
I feel that.
You gonna talk about black woman, but then you say I raped the black girl because she didn't want to give me a pussy, so I raped her. Like, come on, man. But you talking about dudes on rap songs raping girls and running train? Make it make sense to me.
So right now, who you only working with Jay Murder right now?
Yeah, like I said, man, I really didn't want to do the management stuff no more and all that. Like, I really want to, like, if I ever get to the point, I'm going to have my own record label. Because I did all this stuff like Coach K. And I love Coach K a lot that worked with the Migos and all that. Coach K worked for G's. He managed G's before. He worked for Gucci Mane. They fired him. Right. And managers get fired a lot, just like lawyers. Right. So when he told P, he said, man, if I do this shit, I want to own something. I want to be a boss. Because I put all this work in all these years and all this knowledge, and I'm tired of always getting cut out. So, you know, I'm doing it because I told him that a long time ago. I told Jay, if you ever get out, I'll do that. But I'm going to build my own stuff. Everything I'm doing now is about building my thing because for a long time I helped a lot of other people build their dreams and this stuff.
They say you helped him down like 10 years before you even came home, huh?
Yeah. Well, my brother had wrote him when he was in the Paris still. My brother had already was reaching out to him when he got convicted already when he was in Paris. So that's how far they go back or whatever. Like I said, my brother been down 13 going on 14. So like I said, I want to do that. If I ever do that, I would want to do that. So yeah, he the only one to answer your question that I'm managing. I'm doing a blog and stuff.
That's gonna be the segue into what's next. You know what I'm saying? So what's next for you? Because right now you currently in media, right? Mm-hmm. You blogging and doing the interviews and stuff like that.
Right.
Like what have you in that space?
Well, I'm gonna say this too about the blogging and like for any artist that's in any person that's famous, notable. If you on Twitter, don't tweet nothing that you don't want the blogs to grab. I could tweet shit about porn stars, I could tweet shit about rap shit, whatever. If them people see a tweet, them people could grab that shit and ask you about that shit because you put it out on the internet. If you say something about somebody in the interview or on a story or whatever, you gotta be ready to address that. If you don't want it out there, and you don't want the media to ask you about it, because people like you gonna ask questions because you're doing your homework, you're doing your journalism stuff. So
people wanna know.
Yeah, the people want to know. So if you don't want nobody to ask you about certain things, don't put it out there. That's just for any artist or whatever, because people want all the good stuff about them. Right. But when the bad stuff come about them, they get mad. Yeah. When people put out something bad about Michael Jordan gambling problem or this or that, Kobe did this and cheated on his wife, that's going to come out. Just like if Kobe scored 80 points. Right. That's going to be on Sports Center. So people got to realize that you got to have a good PR. You got to know what you sign up for if you want to be famous. And that's the main thing or whatever, but that I want artists to know or whatever. But I post a lot of people free. I try to put a light on them. I try to do my part. I can't do everything, but I appreciate me and everybody that do this just like y'all, because everybody.
I'm looking at on the screen right now, and that's a point. That's actually a question that you asked her. Somewhere along the lines of, where do you draw the line of helping people? You feel what I'm saying? Like you say, you do the free posts and stuff like
sometimes,
that.
Yeah.
But you also, you know what I'm saying, this is what you do for a living. You know, that promotion, things like that, marketing stuff, that costs.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? I forgot exactly how Super answered you. You know, Super Cent. I forgot how she answered you.
Right.
But what's your take on that?
I know what you're talking about. You're talking about when I interview Super Cent, but what I do is sometimes I might randomly like something. I might just post it for free on my page or on my story a lot, even on my Twitter. But a lot of people always be like, man, fuck with me or whatever. Man, nigga sleeping on me. Every artist always feel like somebody's sleeping on me. They gotta stop that. I've been doing this shit for years. This shit ain't happened with me overnight. Just like Youngin said, man, I've been rapping since I was 14. He started really seeing the fruits of his labor in his 20s. Cash Money took 7 years. P took a long time from the early 90s all the way till he got that deal like in 96. Like, people gotta understand you gotta put your work in. You gotta put your 9,000, what is it, $10,000.
The Street Dream Army.
Street Dream.
How long that movement been?
Well, I've been saying Street Dreams for a long time because I got the idea from Nas. I always liked the Nas with that Street Dreams song, and you know, he did the remix with R. Kelly. So I always did like that. And I feel like people that have street dreams, like Big Meech had a street dream, Jay-Z had a street dream, Allen Iverson had a street dream. Everybody that I feel like from humble beginnings with a big dream or whatever and all that, that's a street dream or whatever. And the Army just come off playing off Soulja Slim, No Limit, Master P, and Cash Money and all that. New Orleans like that soldier shit. So I was like, before I say street dreams, gang, mafia, this or that, I was gonna go with something that's near and dear. But just to piggyback off back what you said or whatever, that people always want you to do stuff free. And I gotta put my time into this shit. Like, just like y'all bought all these cameras, you know, this building, this shit ain't free, the lights ain't free. So people always want you to do everything for free, but they don't want to do shows for free. Artists don't want to do verses for free. They don't even want to post the interviews a lot of time when you shout them out. Right. So, I mean, come on, make it make sense. Y'all got to help us help y'all. But y'all always just want us to do everything for free, man. We can't. Like, we got to, like, make it make sense for everybody.
Out of all the interviews I did, I probably, like, honestly only had a handful of people that even reposted it.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. But everybody who wanted to interview them, though.
It's the promotion of them. You know what I'm saying?
But people tell me that all the time. Man, G, they interview me, fuck with me or whatever. But I don't even be seeing y'all do y'all due diligence with that. I pay attention to everything, y'all. I pay attention to all that. So I be seeing how they, you know, do certain shit or whatever. It just be a lot of stuff, bro. It be a lot of stuff that sometimes be making me like don't even be want to deal with it. But I know there's a lot of people that do appreciate it. So for the ones that do get it and do listen, then I'm doing it for them. But like my brother says, a lot of people that don't like it, but there's a lot of people that do love it. And for the ones that do love it, I pay attention to them. And the other ones, we just gonna keep going over because a lot of times people don't understand us as bloggers or people that do interviews. They're like, oh, y'all messy, or y'all ain't really doing no real work. No, this shit is really needed. And people like Joe Budden became millionaires. Sean Cotton got Lamborghinis, all this shit. Vlad left his job and his career to do what he doing and created a blaze that he more powerful than damn the Source Magazine and XXL. A Vlad interview is big for artists. Big. Same thing with Gilly doing, reinvented itself. So there's a whole lot of people jumping into this media space and this internet shit gonna be big. So for everybody that don't understand that the media control the narrative and where this shit going, because like Sean Cotton said it best, he said coaches last longer than players. And think about every great coach, all the players that they didn't see come and go. A Sports Center, it's been around years. We have seen Bo Jackson, Deion Sanders, Michael Jordan to now or whatever. So that's gonna be around. So good shit gonna always stand the test of time. So that's what we building.
I appreciate you coming through, bro. You got anything coming up recent, you know, closer that you want to promote, anything like that?
I'm gonna say this, in the words of Jeff Bezos, big things start small, and like I said, we're doing the stuff with Jay Murder and it's building, it's snowballing, little by little. We building the sound and we cooking it up every day. I'm gonna keep standing their face with this Instagram stuff on GeedyP Speaks. Even though they deleted my pages all them damn times, I'm on my full one. But man, I'm gonna keep it going. And another thing, I'm gonna try to interview people more because a lot of people do want me to interview people more. A lot of my fans, so I'm gonna try to keep running that YouTube checkup and just shout out to all the people that support me. Thank y'all for having me.
Oh, for sure.
You know, thank your partner behind the camera and all that stuff like that for always being on my page and being supporters of what I do. And like I said, I appreciate everybody because all y'all play a part in this shit, you know, in the city and in the state and shit.
Thanks, man. Well, like I said, bro, once again, bro, we appreciate you coming through, dog. I'm WilsonMillz, bro. You can catch me at WilsonMillz or at Million One Entertainment, dog, on all platforms, bro. You can catch these interviews and more on Million One LLC on YouTube, bro. And oh yeah, one more thing, man. Fire Brand Fair, man. Make sure you go firebrandfair.com, dog. Check out the quality of the hat, bro. Yeah.
You got the snapback, just like I got mine on. You got the nice brim, all that, you know.
Yeah, man.
Fresh.
You heard it from Geedy, man. Geedy endorsed it. You know it's nice, man.
Yeah, stamp.
Real talk, bro.
And it's the same color I got on, so you already know it made sense.
You already know, man. But Million Views Podcast, dog. We out this thing, bro. GeedyP, dog.
Street dream on. Thank you. No problem, bro. No problem. And y'all can follow me too on Instagram at GeedyP Speaks. It's GeeDY Speaks. GeedyP Speaks with us all together.
Million Views Podcast, bro. Firebrandfair.com. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Yo, WilsonMillz, man, hosting Million Views Podcast, man. Got my homie with me, my co-host, Hefe.
What I do with Bracket K-Pos.
Yo, man, listen, if you're trying to promote anything, bro, you want any of your content, dog, premiere right here on Million Views Podcast, bro, you got to do is hit us in the DM, man. You know what I'm saying? We'll run your joints as such.
Facts. Tap in with me at Hefe504 on Instagram, or you can hit me on Instagram as well on my business page on the Topic Currency Podcast too.
You already know WilsonMillz at WilsonMillz on all platforms, bro. At Million1ENT on all platforms. M1ELLC at YouTube, you dig? Check out the homie official with an A. Yeah, Hefe, man. Listen, bro, I think that's a pretty good way to promote our guests, to promote, you know what I'm saying, anybody, not even guests, anybody who's just trying to get their music or their content out there, man. What you think about it?
Facts. I feel like if you looking for a place to get your music up, this is the spot. We got a lot of people that's supportive, is gonna give their honest opinion, you know what I'm saying, and keep it real with you. You know what I'm saying? So
real
come
talk.
over.
And be looking for that new album from Hefe coming out real soon. We out, man. It wasn't nigga.